Top 5 financial mistakes you must avoid. Growing up, many of us were never taught good financial habits, either at school or at home. And as we grew older, some of these lessons we had to learn them the hard way. It is unfortunate, but it's the way society is. Financial literacy is not taught at all, when it is a very important life skill that has the power to affect your quality of life significantly. So, in today's video, we are going to go through some wealth killers you must avoid. As the saying goes, it is not your fault if you are born poor, but it is your fault if you stay poor. So, good on you for clicking on this video and taking the right steps forward, and let's get into it. The first financial mistake you must avoid is not having an emergency fund. This is one of the silent but most costly mistakes you can make. An emergency fund is having a cash balance, preferably in a high interest savings account that covers 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. This fund is there to back you up in case of the worst case scenario that you lose your job or that you don't have any income. This should help you keep afloat for at least 3 to 6 months. If you are a freelancer or have a sales job where your income is inconsistent, then it is recommended to have 6 to 12 months of living expenses saved. Now, think of an emergency fund as an insurance for yourself. The same way you pay monthly or annual insurance for your vehicle in case anything happens, your emergency fund serves the same purpose. The only difference is that you get to keep your unclaimed money. The reason an emergency fund is so important is because it can prevent you from taking on high interest debt in the case of an emergency. Maybe something happens to your car, house, or personal life that will require cash at hand. An emergency fund can be this cash buffer that you can use interest-free rather than paying for those same inconveniences on credit. But remember, it is crucial that your emergency fund is only used in the case of an emergency. It is not there for random shopping sprees or additional discretionary spending. It is there for emergencies only. The next financial mistake you must avoid is overspending your income. As obvious as this sounds, you'd be surprised how many people still do this. It does not matter how much you make if you fail to save anything. According to CNBC, 49% of people making 6 figures a year still live paycheck to paycheck. 25% of people who make $250,000 a year also live paycheck to paycheck. If you have poor money management habits that you don't fix, they will follow you as you continue to earn more money. If you make $200,000 a year and save only 5% of that, which is $10,000, you are no better than the person who is making $50,000 and saves 20% of their income, which also equates to $10,000. You might be making 4 times more, but you are still saving the same dollar amount. So again, it's not about how much you earn, rather how much you save. So to tackle this problem, I have a few simple steps. So at first, you must underspend your income and invest the difference. Your wealth is the difference between what you make and what you save. Secondly, is to not be susceptible to lifestyle inflation. This is when, as your income rises, so do your expenses. When people's income rise suddenly, the car they drive isn't so nice anymore, neither is the house they live in. They feel like they can do with a nicer place and a nicer car. And this carries out to all categories in their life. So the result is having expenses that keep up with your increasing wage, and you don't end up progressing financially, because every time you get a raise, you upgrade your lifestyle. So the key here is to keep your expenses the same or have minimal increases as you begin to earn more money. Thirdly is to have a budget. This is personal finance tip 101, but so many people ignore this step, despite how important it is. Making a personal budget that suits you and works for you and stick to it. The same thing won't work for everyone. A budget tells your money where to go, not wondering where it went. The next biggest financial mistake you must avoid is buying status instead of assets. Spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. Naval Ravikant said, "Seek wealth, not money or status. Wealth is having assets that earn while you sleep. Money is how we transfer time and wealth. Status is your place in the social hierarchy. While most people say they want to get rich, what they really want is status and respect. The large majority of people who buy expensive cars isn't because of the appreciation they have for the car's mechanics, but it's more for the signal it gives to others of success. Most people work really hard to get fancy jobs with fancy titles, and as they start earning more, they creep into lifestyle inflation. But this is very dangerous because this does not help you. These people are using money to buy themselves status, not assets. As Morgan Housel said, rich is what we see, what we are wearing, the bag we are holding, and the jewelry we have on us. Wealth is what we don't see. It's the cars not purchased, the diamonds not bought, the renovations postponed, the clothes foregone, and the first-class upgrades declined. You must change your definition of what a rich person really is. A rich person isn't someone who has a very expensive apartment or car. A truly rich person is someone who has assets that earn while they sleep. A valuable lesson I learned from Morgan Housel, the author of The Psychology of Money, is a letter he wrote to his son. The letter is applicable to so many of us today. You might think you want an expensive car, a fancy watch, and a huge house, but I'm telling you, you don't. What you want is respect and admiration from other people. You think having expensive stuff will bring it. It almost never does, especially from the people you want to respect and admire you. So my advice to all of you is to avoid this mistake. Buy assets instead of status. Just a quick friendly reminder, if you are enjoying the content so far, please subscribe to my channel as I will have more upcoming content in the future. Now, back to the video. The next mistake you must avoid is relying on one source of income. While this doesn't really seem that risky or bad, it is if you lose that only source of income. If anything happens to your job, your ability to make income disappears overnight, and it can put you in a very vulnerable position. The average millionaire has 7 sources of income, while the average person has 1. They do this by diversifying their income through investments such as stocks, real estate, and small businesses. This not only provides capital income, but also capital appreciation. This gives them that safety net, that if one income source fails, they still have others. To protect yourself, you can start your own side hustle or passion project that can make you money. Just look at what you're good at. What goods or services can you monetize? What favors do you do really well for free that you can now monetize? Now, the next financial mistake that can be so costly to your future is neglecting your credit score. Now, neglecting your credit score is one of the more silent but deadly financial mistakes you can make, because this score literally determines the interest rates you can get on all loans. Your credit score is essentially a measurement that tells your creditor how creditworthy you are. The score shows how likely you are to pay back their money and how risky of a borrower you are. A credit score in Australia is typically between 0 to 1,200. A poor credit score is around 350, while a really good score is 850 plus. The reason having a high credit score can save you money is because you can borrow money for a house or other debts at a much lower interest rate because of the better score. And even though a lower interest rate of 2 to 3% can sound so minuscule, it actually makes such a big difference in the long run. Let me show you a comparison between a 4% per annum interest rate and a 6% per annum interest rate. As you can see here, if I was to borrow money to buy a house, a $500,000 mortgage at an interest rate of 6%, my monthly payments would be close to $3,000. Now, borrowing that same amount at a 4% rate, my monthly payments will be 2.3, almost 2.4, about $600 less. Now, if you look at it over the entire 30-year time, the total interest payment from the 4% loan versus the 6% saves you an additional $219,000 in interest payments. So just over that 30-year period, even though you're paying 2% less, it saves you almost $250,000. This just emphasizes the importance of having a lower credit score because it really makes a big difference in the long run. So I hope you take on board all these financial mistakes you must avoid. They can all harm you in the long run. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and to keep up with my content, like, subscribe, drop a comment below, and share this video with a friend.